I used to spend whole weekends cleaning and still felt like my house was one mess away from chaos. What I didn't realize was that I wasn't dealing with the real issue. I wasn't lazy or disorganized. I just had too much stuff and no system to keep it from piling back up. It wasn't until I started regular decluttering in small, repeatable ways that things actually shifted, not just my space, but my energy. In this video, I'll walk through the habits that made my home easier to manage and my mind a lot calmer too. Nothing extreme, just simple rhythms that give your life back some breathing room. Leave it clear, feel it clear. It used to feel convenient to keep everything I used, often right out in the open. My favorite mug, the hand lotion I love, even my go-to pens. But all it did was make my space feel cluttered, and somehow that visual noise made me feel behind before the day even started. The shift came when I started putting things away, not perfectly, just consistently. Now the counters stay mostly clear, and when I walk into the kitchen or sit down at my desk, my mind doesn't have to do extra work to focus. It's easier to clean, easier to think, and honestly, it just feels better to be in the room. Try this pick one surface that always collects clutter: the dining table, your bathroom sink, wherever. Clear it off tonight. Wipe it down. And tomorrow, just notice how you feel when you see it clean. That small moment is the point. Let's build on that calm with a habit that actually keeps it going. A quick reset beats a big clean. I used to wait until I had a whole weekend free to do a big clean. But those weekends rarely came, and when they did, I ended up too tired to enjoy the results. What actually worked was way less dramatic, regular decluttering just a few minutes at a time. Every afternoon, usually after lunch, I take 10 minutes and reset whatever's gotten messy that day. Toys, kitchen tools, mail piles, whatever's out goes back. It's not deep cleaning. It's just getting things back to baseline. This habit doesn't just make the house look better, it keeps the stress from building. I don't get to the end of the week feeling buried. And honestly, it makes me more relaxed about the days when things do get messy, because I know it won't take hours to get back to calm. Next, I'll share how I finally stopped letting the store tell me what I needed. Decide once not. Every time, I used to think I just needed more discipline, more willpower to stop shopping, more motivation to stay tidy. But what I really needed were boundaries that didn't rely on self-control in the moment. Now, everything in my home has a clear limit. One shelf for books, one drawer for seasonal decor, one pair of boots and one pair out. These aren't strict rules, they're just decisions I made ahead of time, so I don't have to constantly weigh every purchase or organize the same stuff over and over. The difference is huge. Instead of trying to resist buying another mug or another storage bin, I can look at the space I've already filled and ask, where would it go? If I don't have a place for it, I let it stay at the store. And I feel good walking away. Let's take this even further into how we shop in the first place. Your phone needs a reset. 2. You ever sit down to relax, open your phone, and suddenly you're surrounded by noise again? Too many unread emails, random screenshots, apps you haven't used in months. Physical clutter isn't the only kind that wears us down. Now I do a 5-minute digital sweep once a week. I delete screenshots, clear my downloads folder, unsubscribe from promo emails I never read. It's not about having a perfect inbox, just cutting the noise so your digital life doesn't keep pulling at your mental energy. This kind of reset makes a real difference. It's easier to find things respond faster and just feel less overwhelmed every time you open your screen. Next, here's one habit that helped me stop recluttering the same spaces over and over. Buy for real life. Not someday. I used to get pulled in by single-purpose things, that one seasonal tray, the niche kitchen tool, the highlighter I had to have. But all those one-off items just made my home feel more crowded and my decisions more complicated. Now, I ask a different question when I shop. Can this do more than one thing? If not, I pause. Most of the time, I don't miss it. For example, this winter, I skipped the trendy holiday decor and chose a few things we'd enjoy all season: twinkle lights, branches from outside, simple meals with friends. Nothing that needs bubble wrap or a storage bin in July. It sounds small, but those kinds of choices add up fast. Less clutter coming in means less work managing it all. Coming up, I'll share one more mindset shift that changed how I handle mess, especially on the busiest days. Backups don't always help. There was a time I thought having extras made life easier. Extra towels, extra nail files, even multiple scrunchies in every room. But it just meant more things to store, more to clean, more to keep track of. Now I keep one of each essential: one set of sheets per bed, one good pair of scissors, one favorite coffee mug. And surprisingly, I rarely lose things. I know where everything is because there's less to manage in the first place. This shift doesn't feel restrictive. It feels freeing. There's a calm that comes with not having backups for your backups. Just one, and it's enough. The chair isn't a closet. You know those spots in your home where things just land. The chair that catches all the jackets. The kitchen counter that collects mail keys and whatever you brought in from the car. Those drop zones quietly undo a lot of your effort. What helped me was giving those items an actual home and making it just as easy to use. A small wall hook for the jacket, a tray by the door for keys and sunglasses, a basket inside the closet for returns and receipts. The goal isn't to stop using these items, it's to make putting them away feel effortless. That one little system prevents so much daily clutter from coming back. Now, let's talk about the kind of clutter you don't see, but definitely feel. Make reset time a routine. I used to spend my whole day picking up, moving from one mess to the next, never fully done. What helped was setting a specific time for a daily reset. Now, it's part of our afternoon rhythm. After lunch, I take 10 minutes and walk through the house, putting away what's out. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a reset. When everything has a home, this goes fast. And then the evening feels calmer, like we've closed out the day instead of dragging it behind us. If you tend to tidy in random bursts, try anchoring your reset to something that already happens after breakfast, before bed, whatever fits your rhythm. Fewer decisions. More ease. One thing I didn't expect about decluttering was how much easier it made my day, not just cleaner, but simpler. When there's less stuff, there are fewer choices to make. That means less mental load. Now, I wear the same few outfits I actually love, rotate through meals we enjoy, without reinventing the menu every week, and keep just enough of what works. Not because I should, but because it makes everything smoother. You don't need a capsule wardrobe or meal plan to feel this. Just start by noticing where you're redeciding the same thing every day, and see if simplifying that one area lightens your load. Let's zoom out for a second, because all these systems only work when they match how you really live. The stuff you forgot still weighs on you. It's easy to ignore the things you don't see: broken toys in a drawer, random cords in a box, expired pantry items you'll use eventually, but those things still take up space in your home and your mind. I started tackling one small hidden area each week: a bathroom drawer, a corner of the pantry, a toy bin. And every time I felt a little lighter. It wasn't about the visual difference, it was about not carrying the mental load of things I wasn't using but still owned. If something's been out of sight for months, that's probably your sign. Stop sorting what you don't need. There was a time I thought I just needed better storage, more bins, better labels, a new system. But the real issue wasn't organizing. It was holding on to things I didn't actually use or want. Now, when I'm tempted to organize a messy cabinet, I pause and ask, do I even need this stuff? Often, I don't. And skipping straight to decluttering saves me hours I used to spend trying to make the mess look neater. This mindset shift stops me from buying more containers and helps me see when I'm trying to manage clutter instead of reduce it. Let's wrap up with something I didn't realize until much later: the emotional weight of keeping too much. Keep the memory, not the mess. For a long time, I thought keeping something was the only way to remember it, that a physical item was tied to the feeling or the moment. But it's not. When I started letting go of souvenirs, duplicate baby clothes, or old holiday decorations, I realized the memory stayed even when the item didn't. Sometimes I take a photo before I donate something, just to ease the goodbye. Most of the time, I don't need to. Your memories aren't stored in objects. They're stored in you. And when your home isn't packed with the past, it becomes a lot easier to live in the present. If it keeps failing, it might not fit you. A big mistake I made early on was copying other people's routines, organizing by color, folding every shirt, just so even when it didn't work for our life. The truth is, a system is only helpful if it fits how you already live. Now, I organize by how we actually use things. Everyday dishes go where we unload the dishwasher. Towels live in the bathroom, not the hallway. Kids' stuff is stored low, where they can reach it. If something keeps getting messy, it's not a failure, it's feedback. The system might just need to change. Minimalism isn't about being perfect. It's about making things easier for you. Let's bring it all home with one final thought. Most of what we covered today isn't about doing more. It's about removing what makes life harder than it needs to be. Even one small shift, like clearing a surface or sticking to one drawer per category, can take the edge off your day. It's not about chasing minimalism. It's about giving yourself more space to breathe. If this video felt helpful, feel free to like or subscribe. It just helps us keep making things that support your real life